Oh, right, okay.
You know, the whole concept of equality and whether it can actually exist, whether it does exist, and if it does, is it corrupted? Because we have a lot of this going on in society, don't we? There are lots of people, lots of philosophy that says we should all be treated as equal.
Yeah.
How can we be? Because fundamentally we're not. But can we be? And this is the sort of thing that gets me, you know? It gets
Right.
me. Another one that gets me is, you take the concept, let's just think of the universe. Okay, so there's the universe. Right. People say it goes on forever.
Yeah.
Right. What's on the other side of forever? There's got to be a point where there is another side of something. There's got to be. That's what logic suggests.
Don't you think that this kind of comes down to the old age question of why we're all here, who made it?
Yeah,
blah, blah,
it
blah,
does. Yeah,
belief in God, Jesus, etc., etc.
Yeah, it does, and it's not just God, Jesus. It's any other world religion you like to talk about.
Yeah,
and any other theory of existence you want to talk about as well. You know, the whole concept of why we are here hits me. I just don't get it.
Have you a theory?
Do you want the funny answer?
Yeah. Why not?
Sorry, got a nut in my mouth.
Don't worry.
As you do.
That's where you're supposed to.
I'll get rid of that nut.
Khaki.
Hang on. Right, yes. I have a theory, Chris.
Okay. No, I'm Nick, you're Chris.
Oh, right. I have a theory, Nick.
Okay.
Dinosaurs are thin at one end, much, much thicker in the middle, and thin again at the other end. That is my theory, Nick, and what it is too.
Okay. Right. Does that kind of sum it up?
That sums up existence.
Right.
As does to be or not to be. That is the question. And that is a very good question. To be or not to be. Are you or are you not?
Are you not what?
A person, an existence, a
Okay.
soul, a spirit,
Okay.
a life. You know, you people probably think, what's this crazy idiot going on about? But these are things I think about, Nick. These are really things I think about. God, I've never seen you nonplussed like this.
Well, I'm kind of just thinking it all through,
All right,
really.
yeah.
And I mean, I think the whole philosophy thing kind of, it's a bit of a why kind of title for me, that is. I prefer to talk about particular parts of the subjects.
Yes,
if instead of putting it under the brolly of philosophy.
Yes.
Because I don't profess to be a philosopher.
One
of them as well.
Philosopher.
Yeah, I've got ideas. I've got theories of what I believe.
Well, that is your philosophy then.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If you have ideas and you have thinking about certain topics, that is your philosophy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So tell me some.
Don't know. Well, fate, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm a massive believer in fate.
Yes.
I do believe that the whole thing is literally fated right from day one.
So preordained.
Yeah.
From the day you're born.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, I know people say about your right choice and, crossroads and all this kind of stuff. I'm not too sure that I buy into that.
Right.
I think I've had many experiences in my life that definitely indicate to me that my theory is right. I think meeting people, the kind of, we'll say, the journey with those people, the demise of those people. Some people are still here, some people are not after a long, long time, and then suddenly things go wrong. I believe that all that kind of thing is a fated experience. I think it is to be, if you want to call it that.
Well, there you are. To be or not to be.
Right.
As it's written down.
Shakespeare?
It was Shakespeare.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely right, Nick. You can take life on a very basic level if you want, or you can dig into it. Take a deep dive, as they say these days.
Yeah.
A deep dive into ways of thinking. And that's what I tend to do.
I think it's a good thing to do that. The only kind of... I have a bit of an issue with things that you can't prove. I'm going to bring in Mr. Brian Cox, who I think's a complete cock.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I've got no time for the bloke.
He was a good pop singer. Was he a
Doreen,
Doreen,
yeah.
on the old
keyboard player.
That's it,
yeah. That were a nonsense band anyway, weren't they?
They were.
I mean, anybody who hooks up with Tony Blair,
Exactly.
fucking hell. You got to get them people a swerve, big time.
Yeah, but he's a philosopher. He thinks beyond the sky, doesn't he?
But don't you think that's quite an easy subject, Chris? Because it's like people who. The other guy was the guy in the wheelchair, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
He was another yo-yo, that bloke.
Yeah.
I thought, it's very easy to sit there and write books and theories of of this, that, the other, black holes, whatever you want to call it. I caught a bit of Brian Cox briefly because I literally, flicked by the guy on TikTok a couple of nights ago, and he's whittling on about this, that, and the other. And you think, well, hang on a minute, that's very easy to do because none of it can be proved.
No, and that's the interesting bit about it.
Do you think?
Yeah, because it can't be proved, it's a possibility. It's not a probability, it's a possibility. And anything that's a possibility is a step forward.
Do you think?
Yes, I do.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. I think that for me, you need an end to these things. It's all well and good to say, that I mean, because he doesn't believe in Jesus or God or anything, does he, Brian Cox?
No, he doesn't. No.
He thinks it's all a science and all this kind of stuff, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bit of a cop-out, really, to make a career. I know the guys. Is he a professor?
Yes, he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a highly educated guy.
Yeah.
But equally as much, it's very easy to sit here and say this, that, and the other about this, that, and the other, when none of it can really be proved anyway.
No.
And you have to question whether you could take a bloke like that seriously.
Yes,
I do.
Yeah. But that is the philosophy of possibility, if you like.
Right, okay.
Nothing is predetermined, in my opinion.
Okay.
Everything is possible.
So the fate thing, you don't think comes into...
Faith. You're saying faith?
Fate. Yeah.
Fate, yeah, I can see a point for that. I can definitely see a point. But to my mind, it's a little bit limiting because it just encompasses your lifespan. Just yours. So your fate, you were born there, you die there, your fate is in that span.
Got it, yeah.
But what about what's gone before you were there and what's gone after you were there? That's also fate, but you're not there to influence.
No,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
but is that relevant to the person or to anybody who you're talking about?
Well,
because fate in a blanket form is relative to everybody, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Nick. Yeah, it is. It is. This is why it fascinates me, because even in this conversation now, we're having these discussions. In my mind, is going 10 to the dozen here.
Right.
I'm thinking, well, Nick's got a point there, and can consider that. But it just all boils down to, people say it's down to religious belief. No, it's not.
No, I don't think it's that.
It's not really, because how many religions are in the world? Many, many, many.
Yeah.
And they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
About a superb power, that controls it. So then you get the other extreme of it, science. Science doesn't explain everything. How can it? Science will say that the world was created by the Big Bang and all the rest. I don't know the theories behind it.
Yeah. Well, that's Cox's gig, isn't it? And
So if that's the case, where was the Big Bang to create it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is the theory of nothing? Well, there is a theory, the theory of nothingness.
I think this kind of thing can eventually melt your swede, can't it?
Yeah.
Big time, because again, there's no answer to it.
No.
There's no start, there's no beginning.
No.
And the little bit in the middle is the bit that you participate in.
Yeah. Well, you take the Bible, they say, in the beginning, there was nothing. Well, if there was nothing, where was it? It must have been somewhere to be nothing. And if it was somewhere, it was something. It's crazy thoughts.
It is.
I'm crazy.
No, I don't think it is.
I come from Barcelona.
I don't think it really is. I think it. It's one of those kind of things that, for me, if I was to get too heavily involved in it, it would only kill time.
Yeah.
Without any answers to anything really.
Yeah,
But you'd kill a lot of time.
You would. And I sort of muse it over. I have a think, and I come up with no answer.
Well, there is no answer, is there?
Exactly. So no answer is the answer.
Yeah.
And
which kind of questions why you even bother with it in the first place?
Well, it does, really, Nick.
Doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Do you think it's a case that you have a lot of time on your hands?
I think it's a case that I'm a bit of a loser.
I wouldn't say that. Not at all. I don't think it's a case of that.
No.
I just think it's probably this may be a bit of a strange kind of title to give it, but it's not very productive.
No. Well, that's my story. That is me.
But it's not very productive.
That I do a lot of stuff that's not productive. Like my writing, as you know, is like your photography.
Yeah, but that's not productive. That's productive.
Well,
of course it is, because you're leaving a mark, aren't you?
I'm leaving a mark, all right. It's like a skid mark,
Well, but one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, for every person who don't like it,
yeah,
the balance or the weights of balance should say that there's a lot of people that do like it.
Yes. So, yin and yang and all that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know.
Which is art, isn't it? That's art.
It is art. You have two expressions, don't you? Qualitative, difficult to say on a Sunday.
Very.
Qualitative, or you have quantitative. Beautiful words.
Explain the difference.
Qualitative is to do with thoughts and actions and feelings and emotions.
Oh, okay. That's my area.
That's mine as well. Quantitative is to do with numbers and statistics and ratios, the scientists of the world.
Right, okay.
Brian Cox is of this world.
Yeah, okay.
Deal in quantitative stuff. We both specialise in qualitative approaches, because who's to say what you photograph is photographing reality? It might not be. It might be. Who's to say what I write is expressing, correctness? Whereas a quantitative one, 2 + 2 = 4. That's your answer. That's it.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no argument. That's it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. A qualitative approach to that would say, why does 2 + 2 = 4?
Right. I see.
Do you get me?
Yeah, I do.
So why? Why? Just because science says it's the case, it ain't necessarily so.
No.
As they say in the song.
There's another song there.
Yeah. It ain't necessarily so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing that gets me ticking along, Nick. My mundane old life.
No, if you take people like Brian Cox, he made a fucking career out of it.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Wouldn't I love to do that? Eh?
Would you really?
Yeah. I'd love to be able to pontificate to the world and say, this is Christopher's theory and what it is too. And then I'd say nothing. I'd say, that's my theory.
You could be a deep thinker, you can, Chris Moore.
Yeah, I do tend to drift away into the world at times.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man, at all. But it's.
I've inherited that from my dad.
Okay.
Because he also used to think a lot of things.
Did he?
And at the time, I used to think, what's he going on about? Now I've got to his age, what would have been his age, and I get it. I get where he was coming from.
I think deep thinking's good. I do.
It can drive you berserk.
I was going to say it's destructive.
Yeah.
But I think it's good.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, of course, I've just said qualitative versus quantitative. There's a mixed ground, Nick, in research and so on. It's called mixed method.
Okay.
What that does is it takes a bit of that and a bit of that, a bit of qualitative, bit of quantitative. And it mixes it up and say, this is it. And they call it social science.
Do they really?
Yeah. They say some of this stuff is right with 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff over here that says 2 + 2 isn't 4, but more likely it's in the middle. So
that's a bit on the safe side.
To me, I'm drawing a great big hedge here. There's my hedge.
Yeah.
Sit on top of it.
Yeah.
Like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
What happened to Humpty Dumpty?
He fell off.
He had a great fall. and they couldn't put them together again. That's what comes of sitting on the fence.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of sitting on the fence, man.
No, I know you're not. No,
you've got to be one side.
Yeah,
Either or the other.
Well, you get splinters otherwise.
Well, you can do.
Nasty.
Yeah, right up the crimp.
Oh, nasty, isn't it? Ooh.
Not good.
No. Oh, it's a bit like when your underwear rides up. Not nice, is it?
No.
Gets to that
the
point.
Thongs are a bastard.
Oh, God, no. I've given up wearing those.
No.
Can't be doing with it anymore.
Awful.
A nice pair of Y fronts for me.
Really?
Yeah, can't beat them.
Eyes down, new game?
Yeah, that's the one. Pocket billiards, anyone?
Pocket billiards?
Yeah, you remember that game? That game of two halves? Oh, we're straying.
More serious than life and death.
Definitely, yes, yeah. But there we are. You know, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what your listeners would say on that.
I don't know. I do know it's deep. It is deep. But I think, like I say, I have a little bit of a problem with things, excuse me, that can't be proved.
Mm.
You know, and I think it's quite a cheap way of getting out of stuff. And, you know, I'm a philosopher and all this kind of stuff.
Well, yeah,
you know,
we've had loads of philosophers, Plato and all the rest of them, all the Greek philosophers and Roman philosophers.
Yeah.
People like Archimedes, you know, all these people have had their theories and deep thinks. What's happened? Nothing changes.
No, nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Which brings me back down to my fated thing.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing.
Well, the theory of fate is definitely there.
I mean, I know people that totally disagree with that. And these people who say, well, you make your own luck, you know, and you all this kind of stuff. I'm not totally convinced that that's the case. To be honest,
you can make your own luck, but within a certain setting, within the context. The context you're in is your everyday life, and that dictates who you are. I don't know if you're like me, but do you get weird dreams?
I don't really dream a lot, to be honest.
You're the second person I've had say
that.
My brother-in-law says, I have these weirdest of weird dreams.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Things that are going on, and a dream is supposed to be when your mind is processing things that have happened during the day or month or whatever that are in your subconscious.
Right.
You know? And there is a line of thought that says your dream existence is your real existence. Your awake existence is a fake. We're playing an act. When we're awake, we're conforming to this, we're conforming to that, having dinners, having breakfast, having nuts, whatever.